Hello, and we're finally back at part 3 of our vehicle job. And so we've been focusing on creating sketches and then extruding them in or out to cut or to join. Um, the structure of it's done. We want to add some rounded edges because it's super boxy. We could put a bumper on. I'm going to skip that, but you guys can feel free to embellish this as you want to. One of the things we're going to do is push through a window here, and one of the reasons I want to do that is because it will let me introduce you or reintroduce you to the offset tool, which you're not seeing here because it is a sketch tool. So we're going to be creating another sketch, and this time I'm going to do it on this face. And then this tool right here, offset, it's also in the menu. Offset basically it creates a, what's your word? It creates a concentric shape inside. Now, we might not want to do it to the whole truck, but let me show you what it does. Once I click an edge, so it needs you to click an edge once you choose the tool. When you do this, it creates a concentric thing inside. Now, it's not doing exactly what we want because it's doing the whole shaped loop. So we'll be adding a line in a second. But you may remember from art and design, I called this the cookie cutter tool. So since this isn't what we want, I'm going to click cancel, and then I'm going to temporarily add a line. So I'm just going to click the line tool, and I'm going to add a line from here to here. It's nice, you'll see that it will snap to those 2 points. Whoops, and then I accidentally made another line. So I just hit escape to get rid of the other line that was drawing. Okay, so now that we have a line there, let's try offset again. Let's click this face. Ooh, interesting. Oh, I know what I need. Okay, so here's the problem. This sketch is on its own. It's not in the same frame as the other sketches, which creates a problem. So, we might have to use constraints. So let's take the line tool and, whoops, that's not what I wanted. I think we're just going to have to take the line tool instead of the offset tool. We couldn't use the offset tool because you can only use the offset tool if all the sketches are in the same plane, and they weren't, so that's a problem. Now you can see my window dips down a little bit, so I'm going to redraw a line that goes perpendicular. And so now I have 2 lines I don't need, which in a way is good because now I can introduce you to the trim tool. But you can, so before I show you the trim tool, what I want to show you is when you sketch, it helps you out a little bit. If you're kind of going in this slanted direction, I'm just going to draw a random line. But if you're kind of going in this direction, it will sort of snap to form a parallel constraint, which is really nice. So I'm going to hit escape. So when I drew these lines and I was talking, it was doing that for me. And you'll see how that works with a little practice. I now want to get rid of this line and this line. And all of this is still in sketch mode. So you're not going to see this trim tool when we go back to the solid menu. And offset we'll get to use another time, but I'm going to go to trim, and you'll notice when I go over any edge that's in this sketch, it turns red. Red means cut, so when I click it deletes, and now I'm going to trim this little piece, and now I just have that. So that looks pretty much the same. Let's go ahead and finish the sketch. I'm going to put it back into this view and then tilt it more this way. And so now we just go back to extrude. I can click it there. Another way to make it go inward, like I can push it that way, but I can also click this flip thing. Where'd it go? I can't find it anymore. So There it is. It's pushing inside. Again, you can go to distance and say all. And it goes all the way to the other side, and I can click OK. I think we're going to poke a hole in the front face too, which might let us use the offset. Maybe it will. So, cab of truck. Does it look like a cab of the truck? Oh, it's that part. Yeah, it's too bad we can't offset. Oh, there, I can offset face. Yay! So this is what I actually needed. Offset face. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Click cancel. Okay, we'll just draw a rectangle on that front face so we can poke a mirror through. So I'm actually going to go to this view and tilt it down a little. Oh, that was way too much. Okay, that's a pretty good view. I'm going to turn off this sketch. It's hard to see. Okay, new sketch on this face, and then I can go ahead and take a rectangle, and that looks pretty well set. Again, it's constrained. Well, we'll talk about constraints another time. And then I'll just take that extrude tool, go back this way. I can probably go to all. No, I don't want to go to all, because look what it did. It went all the way through the cab to the other end of the truck. So instead of all, let's say to object, and we can go to that face, I think. But it might be cutting more than I want. It is going to cut more than I want. So maybe we'll just do it by hand. Whoops. Okay, so 10 might be good. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and tilt this a little bit more because, yeah. Okay, good. I don't want it hurting that. So I'm going to click OK. And now I have a window there. You know, if we want it to be realistic, we really should push down seats, but we won't do that this time. We'll pretend it's a little kid's car. You could poke out a window in the back if you want. I'm not going to do it in the interest of time because I trust the instruction thus far will help you do that. What I want to do instead is show you what fillets are. There's a tool right here called the fillet tool, and that adds nice round, let me mouse over again, edges to corners. It adds a roundness to your edges and corners. So I'm going to click it, and what it waits for me to do is select an edge or a face or a feature. Let me start with this one. So when I put that in, it gives me an arrow, and when I push the arrow a little bit, it rounds it nicely. And you're really going to want to stick to small ones. Actually, you could do this a little bigger if you wanted to. Maybe the front of it should be a little bit bigger. You're going to see that for this edge, for example, and you can click the edge first if you want. If I go here, it's already ready to go. That one's got to be pretty small. Maybe not. You guys can decide. I'm going to make mine small though. And click OK. Now I'm going to click this edge and make this one pretty small. And you can even make, so watch, this edge, oh, I didn't click OK. This edge here, no, it doesn't. I also want to see if it'll do more than one edge. So let me click this. There, it clicked that whole bridge, which is super nice. And I'm just going to tweak it a little bit. It's not going. It won't even go at 5 because I guess there's not room. Maybe I could try it at chord length. No, I don't think it's gonna. Oh, it did work. So if you switch this to chord length, it will let you do it, which is nice. And now let me flip over to the other side. And then I'm going to click fillet. Can click this outer edge again. It's on chord length already, and you want to go have it go 5. So look how much nicer that looks. So I want you to keep doing fillets on these edges. 5 is probably most of the time going to be perfect for you guys. I can do, actually, I'm not going to, I think it might work better if you, it's so big though. Let me move my truck over, flip this around, click here. I can't see my arrow good enough, but you know, if you can't see your arrow, you can go ahead and type 5 in here because that's what we're using. So that looks okay. Let me show you something else. See how this one here is kind of in a concave spot? If you click it here, it lets you pull it out a little bit to give you that fluidity, which you'll be able to see better if I... So that's kind of cool. Make sure you have one here. You could also put them on the inside of the window if you wanted to. Let's go ahead and I think we should put one here. So I'm going to start just typing 5 in each of these instead of using the arrow. I think I am going to put one here. So fillets are pretty easy. If you do get an error, or if you, what else was I going to say? If you get an error, or go here, if it's not working, remember that when you go to fillet, there's different settings here. Mine switch back to constant radio. So sometimes switching from tangent to curvature helps too. But most of the time the regular fillet will work just fine for you. So now I'm going to do this edge. Actually, I'm going to try to select more than one edge. So I'm going to hold down Shift. So I just held down Shift and selected the 3 outer edges of the truck. Actually, I'm going to hold Shift again and select the inner edges of that truck bed. And then I'm going to go to Fillet. And then I'm going to type in 5 and see how it likes doing all of those at once. It worked fine. So that's a quicker way. Let me go to the back and show how to do that. And I will tilt it a little bit for some perspective. So if I click this edge and hold Shift and click this edge and then go to Fillet and just type 5, it will do all the edges at once, which is quicker than what I started doing. So you can see that's a much nicer looking vehicle. Let's see, I'm almost out of time. What I want to remind you of, have a nice, you guys can add wheels. If you want to add wheels, just stick some Tauruses underneath there, or make one Taurus. If you don't feel like doing wheels, that's fine too. I'm trying to, there. So that's a pretty good angle. You might even want to, whoops, I zoomed out accidentally. You might even want to tilt it a little more. So give me a nice angle and zoom in as much as you can. And again, when you take the screenshot, so I'm going to go to the snip tool. Please make sure that these are expanded in the browser, both the body and the sketches. I didn't name my last 2 sketches, but that's okay. But definitely make sure when you select it, it includes your name. So then you can copy that and go ahead and paste it on your assignment sheet. 3D printing, here's your assignment sheet in action. So good luck with that. You have today's class and Friday's class if you need it. Hopefully you can get it done today, but it's up to you. You guys can decide how to manage your time. You're doing a great job of getting stuff handed in on time. I appreciate it. So have fun with your vehicle. It's a lot of repetition, but it will make you good at it. It'll make you good at fillets and extruding, etc. So repetition in Fusion, I think, is a good thing because stuff becomes easier. So have fun making your truck or vehicle or whatever. See you next week.